I don't know. To be honest, I don't know if I'm cooked. And so you might be wondering, what do I mean by am I cooked? I guess what I'm referring to is, do I have like legitimate prospects for, you know, above average life? In a lot of ways, I would still say yes. And for all my life, I would say yes. But within the last 3 years, a lot has changed, whether it's been the job market, the industries that I've spent so long in. And I made a video recently talking about how I did 2,000 applications and I'm still technically unemployed. Now I'm still doing jobs for people and I'm doing contracting work and I still have my music stuff going on. So it's not like, you know, all is bad. I'm in still a good position. It's just, if you watched that video, I've talked about how I want to transition out from the industries that I spent in to kind of maybe use my degree or even use my recent refreshed skills of web development and coding. But I guess the premise of this video is, am I cooked? And I'm optimistic. Like, I'm a hard worker. I've done a lot of things. I'm capable of doing a lot of things. Matter of fact, I could still do the things that I do and make a living and be pretty good. And I guess more so, like, I know a lot of people commented on the recent video about how they were also struggling, whether it was 1,200 applications, 1,000 applications, 3,000 applications. More so, probably this video is more so of like, gonna be a video of like a reflection and to like confirm people that you're gonna be fine. I don't know. Everyone's gonna have their own situation. And I know my situation is vastly different than others, as I would imagine others are different from others. Everyone's in their own boat. As we are all in our own boat, you're going down whatever, the ocean, the river, and you will look at the other boats to see the paths that they go on. And you're going to be wanting to be tempted to follow that path because you think that path may work out for you. And the reality is you don't really know where your path is. And I think some people have a very clear guide, and that's a privilege for them, where they understand and they have a direction where to go. And I think as I've reflected more so within the past 12, maybe, I'd probably say 12 to 18 months, that path has become more vague for me, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. And this isn't a video of like, woe is me. I want to be very clear about that. I think with this video, its purpose is, it's okay that you may not know what route you go. I think the important thing is that you at least keep applying. Some people are going to be like, oh, it's all futile. Give up. There's no hope. Just be whatever. And those people will always exist. So I don't really personally get affected by that. It's probably best to audit what's going on. For me, I audited a lot of what was going on in my life. So within 2 years, I've made a lot of substantial changes. I reduced a lot of my responsibilities. I've cut out behavioral patterns out of myself. I've cut out consumption of certain stuff out of my life. I've cut out, I try to become I've done more exercise to become healthy, eat more. Small things, of course. These are things that are just basic, but they're fundamentals to be better. And the reason why I even preface those points is because those points are going to dictate how you feel on that day. And so when you are, call it depressed or sad or defeated. You're not going to really actually work hard that day or maybe even the next day. And I know a lot of people like this where, they dropped out of college. They tried something that was not college related, didn't work out for them. And they don't really have any hardcore skills. And so the job market doesn't have a place for them, or at least they don't think they have a place in the job market, at least in the United States. And some of these people are extremely talented, I know, and they're smart and they're creative, but unfortunately they're displaced. And I'm kind of adjacent to that space. I think I have a little bit more core skills, and I do have a college degree, and I even went above and beyond and got a certification and working on a few other certifications. But that also doesn't make me like better, nor am I in a better position. As like my video stated, I'm still relatively displaced and I don't know where the next step is. For all I know, I do something that's not traditional again, or, tomorrow changes and I get a formal job. So I think the idea of being cooked, although it's kind of, there's an idea to it where it's like you really feel it, where it's like, oh, I feel so cooked. But you have to kind of sit back and rationalize, what skills do you have? What can you do right now to fix them? Do you have a cushion? What privileges do you have? Because everyone has some privileges, no matter what. Whether you like, I have a ton of privileges, and those privileges grant me opportunities in different spaces that I have to seize upon. That's where the work comes into play. For you, I don't know you, so your privilege might be different. Your privilege might be that you've had a troubled life, and that troubled life has made you callous to struggles and burdens. And in that regard, I think you will be able to burden a lot more than the average person, which is not necessarily a fair thing to burden, but that will probably bring out different, call it, rewards. Like I said, everyone's life is different. So I cast no judgment for your burden or what your position is. And I also acknowledge that my position may be more, call it, fortunate than yours, or yours might be more fortunate than mine. And that's where like you have to really rationalize and not get too caught up on, am I cooked, or oh, I am so cooked right now. Because also the sentiment in like CS majors subreddit is a lot of people saying, bro, I'm cooked, I'm not going to find a job, blah, 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 blah. I think there is a lot of legitimacy within the fear of the market, especially with developers, web, and software engineers. I think in a lot of ways, you're not going to find a good positioning, maybe to what you thought you would. But then that's where the gears have to start turning to figure out, okay, I'm not going to do this, but I know I'm capable of doing X and Z. Y, I'm not too sure if I'm capable of doing. So let me focus on X and Z. And I think if you zone in on that, then opportunities may arise. So my privilege is being able to, I guess, work under pressure while having a wide range of skill set. Whereas the part that makes me feel like I'm cooked is, well, I don't really have a clear path right now. I got ruled out of a position at a government. I got ruled out of a government position that I really, 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 really wanted. That I truly thought it was perfect for me. In a lot of ways would be like my life calling. And there's always an opportunity. Maybe it comes back around in the future. I'm not too optimistic, but maybe. For like 10 years, I thought music was a calling. But then technology has shifted. And I started seeing it firsthand. I know a guy that made I think the song might be platinum. I know it's gold selling. And he recorded it on his iPhone. And I know he's not the only one. So what does it mean for recording engineers? Just music in general. It's not a big industry to make money in either. So even having a career in the current space without the change of technology is not that fruitful, to say the least, for the amount of work that you put in. It's really you gotta love it to do it, which I do. I love it. I still love it. If you watch this video and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I don't have these skills, think about what skills you do have. What position are you in that gives you an advantage? Because I don't think sitting here and dwelling about being cooked is all that beneficial, as most people would probably tell you. I think what you have to really consider about is maybe finding alternative routes. And I don't know what those routes may be. For me, um, I've done content for a long time in the music sector. I've done management. I've done production. I've done the entrepreneurial stuff, running businesses. So it puts me in a weird position where I don't know enterprise or working for like a major company in the bureaucracy of companies. Not that I'm opposed to it. I'm willing to take it on, but of course, you find Joe Bob over there, and Joe Bob spent 20 years working in corporate America. Then you have someone like me where it's like, this guy's like kind of like an anomaly, but not necessarily in a useful for the company. Maybe or maybe not. Maybe that's what you need. But I've even done private investigation work on the side, like as odd as that might sound. It's you find you got to figure out what your toolkit is for becoming not cooked. So this video is like my first video. It's sort of like a ramble. So I apologize for that. It's just I kind of wanted to make this something about it was like, oh, I should probably film this and be like, you're not cooked. And if you feel like you're cooked, you should probably think it through, because sitting here and saying you're cooked and wasting your life is not going to help you. As you probably know that. I don't think anyone needs to tell you that, but I think what might be meaningful is saying you're not the only one, and that's up to you to figure out that journey so you're not cooked. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is helpful. Maybe it's not.